Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
With our stock movers as she prepares for a heated weekend, Lisa Mateo.
You got it. We're going to start with Tesla, ticker TSLA. Its shares are on the rise. They're up about 2%. This is before the bell. It rolled out those self-driving robo-taxis in Austin over the weekend. But there's been some news around the cars that they initially caused shares to drop in post-market yesterday. They have recovered, but U.S. safety regulators, they're looking into maybe these cars have violated traffic laws. So things like driving in the wrong lane, speeding, caught videos. These are all posted on social media by the people who are riding in them. There's been some also trouble pressing a button to get the vehicle pulled over. So things like that. Regulators are starting to gather some more information from Tesla. They're going to look over everything to see what the issue is, if there is an issue. But the city of Austin says they haven't received any safety incident reports. I don't know. Hopping in one of these kind of makes me a little nervous.
I think I'll let
that's just me.
The first movers go first. I'll wait.
You'll wait until it moves here. So since we mentioned Tesla, I want to go to Uber because Uber and Alphabet own Waymo. They kick off their driverless ride-hailing service in Atlanta today. So this is really spreading out. Second market, the two companies are teaming up. It had a launch in Austin. So shares of Uber, ticker UBER, they've been up as much as 5%. And dozen of these Waymo's robo-taxis are spreading across like 65 miles of Atlanta. Plans to expand. And in case you're wondering, you don't have to accept the Waymo ride if you are hailing an Uber there. You're going to have that option to pick driverless or switch to the human operating.
See what that number will be.
So no, that's a great point. That's a great point too. So you do get the choice. You're not stuck with it. But Atlanta, they're a competitive market for these things because you think about it. Lyft is going to launch autonomous ride-hailing service in partnership with Toyota as soon as this summer there in Atlanta. Then you have Amazon's Zoox too.
What are you?
They're testing driverless technology.
I just don't get it.
People telling me that's where it's going. Why not? Why? It's a. I don't know.
I saw them around San Francisco.
The technology will be there.
I have no doubt. This
morning.
morning, the Bentley's in the garage. I walked out on the street. The guy shows up. He turns a corner, and there's 6 cars waiting for a parking garage in his way. How does a driverless car get around 6 cars waiting to get into a parking garage? I just don't get it.
I don't know. I'm nervous driving with my daughter in a car. You think I'm going to get in one with no driver in it? I don't know. I want to go to Mastercard quickly. Their shares are higher, up more than 2%. This is ticker MA.
Tom's going to like
deepening its partnership, I know he is, with fintech company Fiserv. They're going to integrate their new token across Mastercard's products, services. That's going to expand stablecoin adoption, utility for their shared customers worldwide. I am not a stablecoin expert.
Stablecoin. What are you doing to Tom?
I know. He's having a fit right now. Fiserv shares, because of it, has been up as much as 6%. That's nice. Ticker FI. And their shares were already higher because it announced plans for the stablecoin. And they're partnering with PayPal, Circle to develop products. So since we're speaking of Circle, I'm going to hit that quickly. Circle, ticker CRCL. They're down as much as 7%. Remember, we've been talking about them, right? Their shares have been higher, but now they're starting to turn lower. The reason why, because it was initiated at Compass Point Research and Trading, a recommendation of neutral. And they're saying that competition in this space is going to increase because that legislation was passed, for U.S. stablecoins. So they're saying the competition is going to increase. So that's why Circle shares are lower.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.